Well, with that, I do want to have Barbara Lavernos join me here on the virtual stage. As I mentioned, she is the Deputy Chief Executive Officer for Research, Innovation, and Technology at L'Oréal. Barbara, bienvenue et bonsoir. It's a little bit late there. I won't say bonjour in Paris, where you're joining us from, but I'm so delighted to see you today.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Peter. Bonsoir à tout le monde.
Thank you so much.
I'm very honored and very pleased and thrilled to be with this great audience. And thank you very much for having me with you, Peter.
Oh, it's a great honor, Barbara. You're kind to say so. Well, Barbara, there are some people who have the same role across many different companies. You've had many roles within one company across the past 3 decades. I mean, and I won't read them all off, but this includes the Chief Procurement Officer, the Executive Vice President of Operations, the Chief Technology and Operations Officer, the President of Research, Innovation, and Technology, and now the Deputy CEO of Research, Innovation, and Technology, as I mentioned a moment ago. You've been a member of the Executive Committee for 7 years now. I'd love to have you reflect, if you would, at least in brief, on your career ascent. And I might add, as a female in technology as well, still, although certainly progress has been made, the path that you've gone has not been the easiest of paths. And I'd love to just have some initial reflections, if you don't mind, on that path to the great heights that you have reached within L'Oréal, please.
Yeah, with pleasure. Being a female in tech is, yes, today not something that is spread across the world, but being a woman at a top position within L'Oréal, that is not something strange. You know that we have female leaders for more than a half of the top position of the company, so it's quite usual. And you're right, I'm quite a dinosaur, because when I say that because when I do meet with the younger, the new generation, I mean, and explaining I stood during 30 years already in the same company, for them it sounds so strange. But as you perfectly mentioned, I stood in the same company, the L'Oréal Group, because I had such different and various adventure and diverse position. And as you said, 3.5 years ago, I had the great privilege to get the responsibility of IT and the transformation within beauty tech. We will come back on this part. Now I'm in charge of research, meaning science, research and innovation, 4,000 researchers across the world in our labs, and all the IT tech people, meaning roughly 2,000 people. And you know, my point here is to say we are not a tech native company. We are not a tech dedicated company, but having a FMCG company, bringing IT tech not only on the executive committee table, but at the deputy CEO position means a lot. And it means that even for our company, and I think across all industry, this will come more and more, because tech is everywhere. Tech is not a nice to have. Tech is no more an enabler. Tech is a strategic asset when it's come to really project and propel or pioneer the future.
Mm. Very, very well said. I appreciate that. You mentioned this topic of beauty tech. I've had the great pleasure of having you enlighten me on your definition of the topic and some examples. I wonder if you could take a moment for this audience and describe beauty tech. The cosmetics and beauty industry is very tactile at the end of the day. It's the application of products, for example, to enhance beauty. It has been fascinating for me to learn from you about the various ways in which technology is enhancing that experience. But please talk a little bit about the whole notion of beauty tech.
Okay, we all know the fintech, the medtech, and you've mentioned many different industries such as insurance that are pivoting into tech. So beauty tech for us, if I have to summarize it within one sentence, it is really to exponentially augment our game-changing science that we have, our historical asset, by cutting-edge technology at scale, because that's the important part in a B2B2C world. Because at L'Oréal and in the beauty industry, I think we all believe that the beauty of the future will be augmented, will be mutualizing catalyzation thanks to the rapprochement of science and technology. What for? Beauty tech, because that's the concept. What for? It's to be ever more inclusive in the solution of beauty, in the experience of beauty, in the product of beauty we will provide the consumer with, to please the infinite demand and quest of beauty rituals from men and women across the world, on the one hand, and how science with cutting-edge technology can allow us to be even more responsible and transparent as a company. That's really what we looked at, and I will explain some example to be very concrete just after. But that's the concept of beauty tech, and when I discuss that within also the external but the internal, it is on the one hand a symmetry of attention. It is on the one hand towards consumer, as said, to expose them and to offer them the best of beauty experiences, while at the same moment, it is also how to augment, and to come to your point, to augment and to transform into a nimble company. So it is both inventing the beauty of the future while transforming into the company of the future, because all métiers are changing within L'Oréal, not only like everyone around this table to modernize, automatize, get access to AI, data, etc., but really to contribute in this creation of powered beauty for consumers.
That's a great overview. I appreciate that. And I do want to get into some of those examples. I want to get into, just as you alluded to, Barbara, how the company goes about this process of invention, the inventing of new experiences for customers. Can you talk a bit about some of the methods that you use, and perhaps a little bit more about some of the outcomes of that as well?
Yes, sure. So I will not describe precisely the change of the, let's say, the digitization of the workplaces or the métier. Let's move to the augmented beauty, the beauty tech transformation for our consumers. And it's all about a global experience. So if we speak about inclusivity, it is really how we can, with the best of science, with our researcher and labs, come, thanks to tech, to talk to each person on Earth as his or her own need. The skin in Europe is very different from, obviously, the skin in Asia. And in Asia, Japanese skin are very different from Chinese or from, say, Southeast Asia. Climate, environment is very different. Beauty rituals are heavily different, the same for hair. So it is about having, for example, diagnosis devices, very precise, combined with AI and assisted image that allow each consumer, woman, man on Earth, really to have diagnosis, to speak about the toxicity of skin, that we can also advise with the best beauty routine, thanks to all the images and the dialogue we will establish with them. That on the one hand. On the other hand, when it comes to inclusivity, I mean, we change completely. We are in a new era, if I may say so, because before, all of us, whatever our industry, it was really the economy of scale. It was the economy of scale, so it was large series. I was plant manager. I was just looking to have millions of the same product to produce to be efficient. As of today, the new technology offers us the possibility to make ultra personalized product for you. And for you, because in having your microbiome on your skin, or in having a perfect understanding of your specificity of your hair, curly hair, whatever, then we are able to produce it in a mini factory, if I may say so, a mini factory, and to design and to formulate especially for you. So it is not for the 7 billion product we are selling every year to the market, but for a big portion and more, because people are really looking for those customized products more and more, and whatever the geography. It's not only dedicated for some people in Asia or some people in the US. It's really a large move that is happening now globally. So that is really about inclusive beauty and all this technology allowing us to really push the boundaries of what we can offer, but also the discovery, because what you have to understand in dialoguing this way, in having this diagnosis of so much multiple skin or hair, you imagine the data we can digest. So it's very interesting because it loops internally, as you might imagine, to our labs, etc. And so that was, we want to create, customized, tailor-made, unbelievable experience. So as I propose, instead of long speech, let me share with you a short video. It's 1 minute, but of a new product that came that we presented during the show, the CES this year, and that is just open to sales a few weeks ago. It is a lipstick mini factory at home that allow a woman to reach the dream of a woman is to have 5,000 shades available that she can decide to take this shade or this shade. You will see it thanks to virtual try-on, thanks to that another dream of a woman, pictures of my shoes or my bag, and I want the exact perfect match of the color. And you will see this is 6 years development. It's not easy to come to this device to be developed, and it embedded 20 patents. So let's see the video, please.
Wow, remarkable, Barbara. Thank you for sharing that.
So voila, that's one example, and you, because the people in this audience know perfectly what's behind in terms of technology, so you might imagine what we have put here. So that's one concrete example. Let me share with you a second example, because if on the one hand we are all facing, as you perfectly mentioned, and especially due to this perfect storm time, this pivoting into tech, there is also this climate change pressure and urgency that is really also what we all experience across the board. And technology is really also the way to transform our model. On the one hand, again, it's because of science transformation, pivoting into biotech and green sciences, but how tech can really allow us to have this responsible attitude and the reduction of the environmental impact and a full transparency to our consumers, because we have also to convey all this information to our consumer. And here I have a second example, just to be very concrete, to share with your audience, is the so-called water saver. It's a new product we opened on the market few months ago, and we are today with 300 salons of hairdresser on beta test, and we will soon, it's in Paris and in New York, and we will soon open and roll out in thousands of salons in 2022. What is that? It's a rocket engine technology. You mentioned ecosystem that we co-develop with Gyoza, a fantastic startup, technological startup, and here you have this technology to transform the traditional daily air washing experience with high power water optimization technology, with air care products that are flowing, that do flow within the water stream. And here you have all this technology on the one hand, you have all the data that are your own dashboard, and for hairdresser it's very important to measure how many water they might save and what they use in terms of product for procurement, etc., etc. What you have to understand is that this technology allows to wash the hair the same way we are in a traditional way, but in saving 80%, 80% of water. So we are speaking about billions of gallons of water that might be saved thanks to this technology. Incredible. So it's an example. I mean, I could speak during hours about different examples, but I want to bring to your audience some concrete application in the hand, or to professional or to consumers when it's come to this creation of beauty tech. And that's where we do pave our way and build our future. And to come back to my point, this is inventing the beauty of the future, but while transforming into the company of the future. And when it comes to be nimble, data-driven, real-time, more creative company. Here again, it's how with the technology we can empower and augment each and everyone within our teams. But it is also, on the other hand, for a company such as L'Oréal, we are a century-long company. As you might imagine, we have a treasure of data. We have 1 century of data about beauty rituals, about different typology of hair, of skin, etc. And this data assets, when being brought with to new technology, being platformized, being API, and then transformed in AI, you can imagine how much it brings in terms of value for our teams. Here I have just one example. Again, I just took one screenshot of a development we've done, and it's a very easy one, as you may imagine. It's an AI analyzer of all the consumer reviews and rating. And with a lot of the ratings are pure figures, so it's quite easy to manage. But there is also a lot of, as you know, of quotes, of comments, etc. And we train our AI to read, to learn, and to allow to get all the information about the feedback of the consumers. Here it's an example of on a mascara, so it's in makeup in the US. And just for this screen, we have roughly 35,000 rating each month that bring to us many information, as you can see on the right-hand side, on the long-lasting, on the quality of application, but also the flakes, all the price positioning, all the smell, or etc., etc. We have also all the information about our competitors. It allows to benchmark us in real time. And imagine the virtuous spiral that is brought by this type of a new product, because all this information is immediately feedback within our team of research and innovation to innovate with more relevancy, and towards our digital teams and consumer care teams to allow to be more precise in advertising and in consumer loyalty.
Very good. Well, those are great examples. And just as you said, Barbara, it really brings to life what you're describing. I appreciate you sharing those. And I'd like to thank you more generally. What a great conversation it has been, and what a remarkable journey clearly you have been on in your career. I appreciate you sharing a bit about your rise within L'Oréal and some of the specifics of this exciting things that you and your team are bringing to life. As always, it's wonderful to speak with you.
Thank you to having me with you.
It's a pleasure. Thank you again, Barbara.